And I have to say, though, despite doctors thinking he'd never be able to walk, let alone talk ever again, David surprised them all, and he is here 22 years later to share his story. Please welcome David. This is in many ways a heartbreaking story because I think about all you went through, and yet listening to your brother talk about you, and I know your mom, Carol's in the audience. I also, in some ways, I look at you and I think this is also a story of family and love, and I'm assuming that's what helped you overcome these odds.
Exactly, but I think it's very important for the audience here today with people with my condition, aphasia, that there's still opportunities out there and there's still hope. And it's so important for us to get out there and enjoy life once again and have a life, so.
I'm so proud of you, David, and you know, it's just so amazing to hear him talk in front of all of these people. It took him so long. It was hard work every single day for years, you know, and I'm so proud of you. And my family came together, and you know, it's incredible because you never think something like that is gonna turn into something good. And you know, I will say that some of the awful things that my brother had to go through in the intensive care unit, some of the things that I saw in the pediatric hospitals, it just struck an arrow through my heart. And for me, now looking back, that's why I do what I do. That's what made me a psychotherapist.
I want to introduce your mother, Carol, who's in our audience. And I can't imagine as a mom watching your 10-year-old child suffer a stroke. When people think of strokes solely as something that happens to people near maybe the end of their lives, do you have any advice, given everything you've gone through?
Stimulate, stimulate, stimulate. Because with stroke recovery, you have to work hard. And David has worked unbelievably hard. David, I'm so proud of you.
And you know, my brother founded a nonprofit working with other stroke survivors. Do you want to tell people what exactly you do?
We have a great Facebook group that people can join for the stroke survivors with aphasia and their caregivers, and we also take people on events. We're hosting a week-long event coming up, so it's a great opportunity to meet other stroke survivors with aphasia, and we take people on cruises, so it's a great opportunity to be so encouraged to be out there and have fun.
And I want to just really quickly, everyone watching, to remind people that when a stroke occurs, you're basically disrupting blood flow to a certain area of the brain, and that area of the brain can then die off, and it can occur either by a blockage or a hemorrhage. And in David's case, it was the language center. But the most important takeaway here, and I know that, David, this is something you're passionate about, David had trouble finding his words as he was going through recovery, but it didn't mean that David didn't understand. And that's where I think a lot of times this misconception is, a lot of times everyone around them assumes that they don't maybe know what you're saying. Right. They don't, you know, they can't handle being a part of this. And I think you being here today, one of the things I'm most proud about with our show and the things that you're doing is we're teaching people out there that if you meet David or you meet someone like David who's dealing with aphasia, engage. This is a great man. and I'm so happy we had the chance to meet you. And I'm also so happy that, Mike, you are a New York Times bestselling author. Now you can add to it because you and your brother David have now written a book. It's called Healing the Broken Brain. And the best part, everyone in the audience is going home with a copy. I love it when we bring families together. I also know that you're super close with your grandpa.
I think he's an amazing man, and he got me through all the challenges as well as my family support.
Well, this is a family celebration, and it wouldn't truly be one without Grandpa Ward. So, Grandpa, come on out. I think we are all blessed and touched to have you all here today, and I have to thank the three of you for sharing Mike with us regularly on the show. We're blessed to have Dr. Dow. David, thank you so much. And we're going to have more about aphasia, also the nonprofit that David works with, on our website, thedoctorstv.com. We'll be right back.